The New York Rangers brought out the brooms on Sunday night as they swept the Washington Capitals following a 4-2 win in D.C. And now the Blueshirts will await their second-round opponent. So while they wait, it's a great time to talk some Rangers hockey. We're going to do it with a host of the Blue Crew podcast, also a host and analyst for the NHL and Daily Faceoff. The great Jonny Lazarus joins me now. Johnny, how's it going, man?
I'm good, Dexter. I appreciate the kind introduction. Always fun to be on here, but way more fun when it's like 80 degrees out in New York and the Knicks and Rangers are winning. So I'm in a great mood.
Yeah, man. We were talking about this before we started recording. It is a good time here in New York, and really good time if you're a Rangers fan, Johnny, because the Rangers, just as I mentioned, completed a sweep of the Capitals. In your eyes, what was the key factor in their dominance throughout the series?
Well, I think it's been the same story as it has all year long. You get saves from Igor Shesterkin in net, and then the Rangers' power play comes through at big moments. I mean, in Game 4 yesterday or Sunday night, whichever way you want to call it, Vinny Trocheck scores a huge goal in the power play. Late in the game, it's tied 2-2. A guy you're begging to step up in a big moment, Artemi Panarin, the guy who got all the criticism and all the hate in last year's playoffs, scores that big, and I must say, beautiful power play goal to give the Rangers a 3-2 lead, and they never looked back after that. So to me, there were moments where the Rangers may not have been the better team at 5-on-5, which, again, if you've watched this team play all year long, that's no surprise. But when the power play is clicking at a 37.5% through 4 games in the playoffs, and you're only letting up, less than 2 goals per game for the most part, it's a good recipe for success. So listen, I think the playoffs, in the big moments, you need your goalies to make the saves, and you need your power play to come through, and the Rangers got that through all 4 games of the series, aside from Game 1 where they didn't score in the power play, but that's when the fourth line chips in. You get Matt Rempe scoring a goal. You get Jimmy Vesey scoring a goal. You look for different guys to bring all different kinds of value in these kinds of moments, and the Rangers got it from everybody. So it's a full team effort, and sweeps aren't easy, but the Rangers got it done in pretty ugly fashion, but I don't think they care if it was pretty or if it was ugly.
Yeah, I don't think they care at all. 4 straight wins, got it over with, on to the next, and we'll get to the on to the next. And you mentioned the bread man, Johnny, Artemi Panarin. He had a crucial role in the series, especially in the closing game, as you mentioned. What did you make of his impact, and how vital is he to the Rangers' success going forward?
Well, to be fully honest, I don't think Artemi Panarin necessarily lit this series up, but he did score 2 big goals. He had an assist, a +1 rating, got really strong ice time, and also made an impact physically. People might want to overlook it a little bit, but that hit on TJ Oshie was a message-sending hit that Artemi Panarin is not shying away from anything come playoffs. And there was a clip from Game 3 where he's working along the walls in a one-on-one battle. He goes down, he gets up, he keeps battling and battling for about 15 seconds. And yes, he loses the puck at the end, but he never gave up on the play. And I think you look around at other teams and other superstars around the league, they're being pushed around, and it's affecting them mentally. Guys like Mitch Marner and Elias Pettersson are taking a lot of heat from their home fan bases for not showing up to play in these big moments, but Artemi Panarin has. And I think it's been a big bounce back for him. I think he's having a lot of fun, too. And I think when you take the pressure off of yourself after scoring a goal in a Game 1 like he did, now he has a series clincher again. It just makes you feel a little bit more relaxed knowing that you already chipped in only 1 round in. So for Panarin, it's huge to get going here in the first round, and very happy for him just as a person, because he's one of the best guys to talk to in the room after every game, whether it's a win or lose.
Yeah, he has, and you like that physicality and force that he's playing with right now. You definitely like to see that. Looking ahead for this Rangers team, they might face the Islanders. They may face the Hurricanes in the second round. If the Blueshirts face the Isles next, we know this will be a battle for New York in the playoffs. What unique challenges does a local rivalry bring in the postseason?
Well, I think the unique challenge is it brings a lot of stress and anxiety for both fan bases. That's probably the biggest thing. But as far as on the ice goes, to me, the Rangers are the much better team in almost every area. You look at the goaltending, and sure, Semyon Varlamov has been phenomenal for the Islanders. But at 5-on-5, the Rangers, to me, are the better team. The Islanders, they've actually held their own. I do want to give them a lot of credit because they trail right now 3-1 in their series against Carolina. But with a couple of bounces, that could easily be 3-1 in the Islanders' favor. Carolina's been good, but they haven't fully impressed me. I was at Game 3 and 4 at UBS Arena. I thought the Islanders could have taken both those games, but Freddie Anderson played so well in goal for Carolina. The 5-on-5 for the Hurricanes was a struggle. They relied on their power play to score goals. So it's a similar kind of issue for the Carolina Hurricanes and the Rangers. At 5-on-5, both teams need, their big guns to step up at even strength. And the Islanders, if they're not getting scoring from Matt Barzal or Bo Horvat, I don't know if they really have that depth scoring that the Rangers might have. So to me, the goaltenders kind of cancel each other out with Shesterkin and Varlamov. And then when you look at the power plays, the Rangers' power play is so much more lethal than the Islanders, despite the Islanders' power play actually clicking at a 28.6% of the first 4 games or so. So the Rangers have way more offensive weapons. They're the overall better team. The Islanders don't really scare me. And I think everyone that roots the Rangers should actually be rooting for the Islanders to push this to a 7-game series.
All right, we'll get back to that in a second about who the team should rather face. Looking ahead, let's look at the Hurricanes really quick. The Rangers, if they face them, they face a team with strong puck possession skills. How should the Rangers prepare for that style of play if they are to face Carolina?
It's so interesting because after Game 4, I was sitting in the press conference with the New York Islanders, and Matt Barzal said this is the tightest checking series he's ever played in. So puck possession, like you just mentioned, Dexter, is the biggest thing in a series against a team like Carolina, because let's say you have an odd man rush or a 2-on-2 rush. You don't want to just necessarily throw the puck at the net and not even give yourself a second or third opportunity. You want to possess it. You want to cut back, which is something that Patrick Waugh really touched on after Game 4. The fact that cutbacks and having guys crash the net and create those second, third opportunities is huge. And having guys sacrifice their bodies, getting to the front of the net, causing traffic in front of Freddie Anderson, you're not going to beat the Carolina Hurricanes if you don't get that. You can't just outskill them. The Carolina Hurricanes are a team that, work their bags off and they compete. And, the Islanders have gone toe-to-toe with them. And I think a big criticism on the Rangers is that stamina and compete level for 60 minutes. If the Rangers let their foot off the gas for 5 minutes in a game, Carolina can make them pay. So to play against a team like Carolina, you're going to have to be really smart with your puck management, with your puck decisions, and you got to get traffic to the net, and you got to try to score ugly goals.
Yeah, we'll see if they play the Hurricanes, if they can do that. The Rangers, as everyone knows, they're going to have several days off in terms of rest due to this sweep. How can this break either benefit or hinder their momentum going into the next series?
Well, the only way it would hinder them is if Carolina continues to play out this series against the Islanders. But, to that point, too, that means Carolina allows a 3-1 series lead to slip away. So there's kind of give and take to both. But if Carolina wins their game tomorrow night, then both teams are going to have a pretty similar amount of rest, so they'd be on an even level playing field. But for the Rangers and for hockey players in general, you always want to get back out there, especially when it's fun and you're winning games. You just can't wait to get back on the ice and play in a game again. So I imagine the Rangers are going to appreciate today off, and they have tomorrow off as well, and then get right back at it. Peter Laviolette, before round 1, had a mini little, what felt like a 3-day training camp before the playoffs, and I imagine he'll do something similar before the second round. It's always good to regroup, to kind of, unwind and reset mentally as well. So to me, this is good for the Rangers, and you want to have that longevity, of guys being healthy if you get past the second round into the third round. So I think it's a good thing. But if Carolina continues to play, they might have a little bit more of that, I guess, the buy-in, and you don't really have to flip a switch come Game 1. So it all depends on how Carolina does tomorrow night against the Islanders, I would say.
Yeah, we'll see how much rest the Rangers actually do get, whether it'll be more or it'll be just about the same as the Hurricanes. Which team, and talking about the Hurricanes and the Islanders, do you think is a better matchup for the Rangers in round 2? And what adjustments should the Blueshirts consider to combat the strengths of either the Islanders or the Hurricanes?
Well, I think as far as the adjustments go, the Rangers have been fine. They might have to up it a little bit physically, although they did, pretty much take every punch that Washington threw at them and threw it right back, actually. So I don't think the Rangers need to adjust too much to their game. The 5-on-5 execution maybe could be a little bit better. But as far as the D zone goes, for the most part, they were pretty strong. They only had, they only trailed, the Capitals for about a little over 3 minutes. So it's not like the Rangers had any causes for concern in round 1. I think the Islanders are the better matchup, just because to me on their roster they have much less talent and their blue line's way weaker than Carolina's. Carolina's D-core has a ton of weapons like Jacob Slavin, Brent Burns, Dmitry Orlov, Jaden Chadfield. They are a really deep blue line. And Brady Shea, former Ranger, got to mention him as well. And Tony DeAngelo, I guess, too. He's in the lineup with Brett Pesce out, so another former Ranger there. But when it comes to just overall talent, Carolina has more of that, and Carolina also just plays a much more complete and sound game. So to me, the better matchup for not only the Rangers on the ice, but for the fan bases off the ice, is the New York Islanders.
Yeah, there you go. I'm about that. I want to see the New York versus New York matchup. So I'm rooting for this Islanders comeback. We'll see if that can happen. Islanders versus Rangers in round 2 would be really fun. Be fun for the city there. That is Jonny Lazarus. He is the host of the Blue Crew podcast. Also, as I said, a host and analyst for NHL and Daily Faceoff. Johnny, always good talking some hockey with you. We'll talk again soon.
You too, Dexter. Have a good one.